Replace it. So what we are proposing at the conference this weekend is that we would have in our manifesto a commitment to have a referendum on repealing the age amendment, and then we would have a legislation that would have terminations in very specific circumstances. So the health of the mother, the health of the woman, fatal fibula abnormality, and in cases of rape and incest, that would come under the broad title of mental health. So you have situations at the moment currently in hospitals around the country where a woman is in serious difficulty and the clinical team have to wait until her life is in difficulty before they can intervene. The Savita Halpinamar case could happen tomorrow and the next day. The X-case legislation that we passed wouldn't deal with that because when she was in difficulty, her health was in difficulty, and when her life was in difficulty, it was too late. So that's the type of legislation we would be talking about in very specific circumstances, and we would legislate for that. But we have to show that legislation before you would have a referendum, because people would rightly say, hold on, if I repeal the 8th Amendment, is this abortion on demand? Is this the most liberal abortion regime in the world?
Probably, and a lot of people in Labour favour something more than that. Say something like the sort of regime that's in the UK at the moment, for example. Where
not necessarily, because all of us have wrestled with this issue. All of us have kind of nuances in how we feel about it. A lot of people can understand the necessity of a woman's health being in difficulty or their life being in difficulty, but there's different circumstances that would require a different reaction. We also want to put something to the people that I think the people would support and be comfortable with, and people aren't comfortable with this discussion, so we have to introduce something that's going to be...
People on the pro-life side would argue that this is just a stepping stone towards a more liberal abortion regime in this country that would eventually get to the point where it is in the UK at the moment, where it's very easy to...
Then the pro-life side are quite entitled to vote for people of their own mindset. Our mindset would be of this is what we want to achieve. And by the way, we get criticised by the pro-choice side by not doing more on this issue in this current term of government. But before the last general election, we said that we would legislate for the X case. So we legislated for the X case. We didn't say we'd do any more than that. And at that time, we were criticised by the pro-life side for even doing that. Now, we said we'd do that. That's what we did. The next term of government, we want to repeal the age amendment and introduce
and then in the one after that,
protections for women.
Seek to liberalise it again?
Well, you do that on the basis of a general election and on the basis of standing in front of the people. By the way, this is a proposal from a number of people in the Labour Party, a commission that was set up under Labour Women. It has to get the sanction from the party first, and then we would give it, put it in front of the people, and the people may back it or may not. And the more Labour Party TDs you get in the next dole, the better chance you have of progressing this issue. Because if we go back and have a small number of TDs and you're negotiating a problem for government, it's not as easy to push this issue. It was easier for us last time because we were 1/3 of the government.